stand ready. Two teams edged with pride and fueled by ambition. The formalities have passed, the tension lingers, and the stakes could not be higher. Pakala Ian for Zambia has gone with the same starting 11 that beat Namibia on day 2. So the midfield is going to be very important now in this game. Really enjoyed watching the look of Abel Nyirongo, scored a brilliant goal. Gable Piri scored a hat-trick in the first game. He'll once again have to wait for his time off the bench. But Felix Piri rather, Mike Matule and Vincent Mutondo are going to have a very important game to play. So have the Zimbabweans. Beckyfield Chivenga has chosen the same starting 11 too, but he mentions that this time there's going to be a bit of a mental element via the bullying, that Zambia are tough and big boys, and so there's going to be a big role to be played by Musvona, by Shoniwa, as well as the lethal attack. Zimbabwe were 5-1 winners against Eswatini on the first match day, winning, really improving their dominance that day. I really enjoyed watching Tadiwa Chakuchichi as well as El Shaddai Sadboma. Referee-wise, let's take you through that then very quickly. We've got Samuel Mayele Ngendapulwa from Namibia, assisted by Caesar Tlangamandla, Moiketsi Benjamin Mankuku, as well as Wilson Umuyangwe take charge of the game. Our refs are from Namibia, Lesotho, Botswana, and Mozambique. Samuel Mayele Ngendapula has taken charge of some of the biggest games on the Southern African region. He knows that this derby is one where he will need to control the game, most importantly, not let the temper rile and the emotion perhaps supersede the occasion. So for Zambia, it's about solidifying their dominance and proving why they are the standard bearers for Southern African football. For Zimbabwe, it's about defiance, about rewriting the script and carving their own path to glory. The time for words is over, and the time for action is here. The stage is set, and the battle for Group B supremacy begins now. If you're just joining us now, you would have missed the game between Eswatini when they took on Namibia. Namibia scoring in the last minutes of that game. So they pick up their first 3-pointer of the under-17 CAF COSAFA Qualifiers and Championship. Zambia's home game this. They are in the orange, the Copper Bullets. They look to fire quickly, like the name suggests. Zimbabwe, it's about defying today the odds. It's about rewriting the narrative. It's about changing the strip entirely on its head. So we're good for the 1500 kickoff. 3 o'clock. By 5, we will have an indication of what Group B looks like. Both teams have won on Thursday, 8-0 and 5-1 respectively. Who takes this one? It's a derby this, a Southern African derby. One of the games with the most views on this in these regions of the continent. And definitely some good talent on show. Shoniwa plays Tadiwa Chakuchichi. He was very good, beat so many players against Eswatini. Now Zimbabwe want to start off well. So they got off to a quick start, did the Zambians. On their first game, they scored quick goals against the Namibian side that was really only starting to develop. They were very raw Namibian team playing against a fully cooked Zambian side. That pass was not the best from Mike Matule. So when I speak to the Zimbabwean coach, Beckyfield Chivenga, he says that Zambia are bullies. and that's it's in the midfield really where they're big boys, so they're gonna need to work on their physicality. That's something that they worked on then yesterday. Lots of that in training, those one-on-one battles just like that. There's Chakuchichi, the one-on-one there with jersey 19 from Zambia, Orton Piri. Vincent Mutonde. Both teams are teams that have good development structures back in their homelands. For Zambia, they've got a fully fledged elite development league is what they call it, with all of the pro sides participate and have development academies. And for Zimbabwe, well, their development is also pretty much in good hands. How it works in Zimbabwe is that there is every single province in Zimbabwe has got a development league, which is so commendable. I don't think that's an achievement that's spoken about enough. It's difficult to have one province have a development league, but to have a development league in every single part, from Harare right to the Victoria Falls and all the places in Zim, there's some development football taking place. I'll let you know just how difficult it is to have a development league. In South Africa, there's something called the Gauteng Development League, but like the name suggests, it's just in Gauteng. Other provinces have tried to somewhat establish similar structures in their respective parts, but it's just so difficult sometimes to administer. And secondly, there's also financial implications. So the Zimbabweans have definitely invested in their development football. Foul by Piri on Chingoka. The other kickoff, the other 1500 game then sees South Africa play against the Comoros. They're playing at the UJAW Muller Stadium in Group C for supremacy there. Shimute tries to play in Nyarongo. Zim on the ball and they're looking for Chakuchichi. Shot now! Powerful from Valentine Macheka. He scored a brilliant goal. I think he scored goal number 5 for Zimbabwe. Up against Eswatini did Valentine Macheka. When you speak to the coach then, and he describes Valentine Macheka, he speaks with him with such words of love. Valentine Macheka, what the coach says is that he's a clever player. He's not a bully like they need today, but he's a player where when the bullies are busy bullying each other, he uses his brain. Scrumptious ball over the top. Orange shirts. It's going to fall here for Banda. Not quite. Banda, there's been a few Bandas in the history of Zambia that have really had good displays out at this tournament. There's Joseph Banda that I remember, that's a couple of years ago. I think if memory serves me right, it was in 2019 where Joseph Banda was player of the tournament. Following year, it went to South Africa's Tutuzi Shabalala. Foul on El Shaddai Sadiboma. Scored a hat-trick, El Shaddai Sadiboma, on the first day. He's a brilliant striker. If you remember how Bobby Firmino plays his football, a pressing striker. He's not afraid to come deep and win the ball and then work it like that, be involved in the build-up and then influential in the play again. That's El Shaddai Sadiboma for you. Kalimina. No, rather, it's Magadzire there. That's Kalimina defending now, the captain. Also one of the goal scorers. And look at him, he's a captain. He says, let's calm it down, let's look around. I like him, he's calm, he's composed. He does his job very well. Piri. Randy Orton Piri. His name Orton, I've called him Randy. Here's Banda. Chance now, Simute on that other side. Simute scores again for the Zambians. Goodness me gracious, this kid is a star. This boy has got some footballing ability. But for me, it's the build-up for the Zambians. All the way to the right, where Banda is, and then Simute, almost a photocopy of the goal he scored. Just like that. That's where he really hurts you, Simute. Is he off? Looks like he's played on. He's timed his run just well. Banda Simute. It's a goal for the young Chipolopolo. Started mining out that copper quite early. There's no copper in Josie. They're mining the gold. They're here to take everything, the Zambians. Zambia, the last time they played here on South African soil in this format was 2020. They lost on a penalty shootout to South Africa after drawing 1-1. And that's the year where Joseph Banda, who was only 15 years old, starred brilliantly. Claimed the top scorer award with 5 goals. Geez, I think this year's top scorer award may just have many more goals than that. Mapena in last campaign had 9 to claim the top scorer award. So we've got Sadboma with 3, Simute with 3 now. This is Banda. Banda, bend it, Banda, bend it like Banda. Banda doesn't have the firepower there to get it beyond the goalie. He's a left feet, and Sianda Zimba rather. It's a good save. Yeah, so I think this year's goal tally, geez, it's going to be something quite special. The average amount of goals scored so far is about 4. Foul on El Shaddai Sadiboma. So how do the Zimbabweans respond? Oof. Xavier Mwansa just has his fingers all over Sadboma's face. So who takes this one? There is Tariso Musvona. Low delivery, and the copper bullets wall does its job. Head injury there, and the referee immediately signals for some assistance. That collision was between Valentine Macheka and Vincent Mutondo. Now it's going to be a physical game. They're big boys, the Zambians. There must be something in the water in Zambia, because these guys really they grow. Some of these boys are bigger than me. And they're only, I think the average age for the players is about 16. You can't play in the tournament once you've turned 17. The eligibility is players born in January 2008. The Zim team have had a couple of years then where they were declared ineligible because of that very factor. Remember campaign in 2020, a couple of teams didn't end up playing when Zambia lost here to South Africa. Botswana, Mauritius, Zimbabwe. In fact, the Zambians had a year themselves where they weren't able to fully compete the campaign because in a semi-final there was a player that was ineligible. It was back in about 2007. That's Felix Piri. Good work by Piri. Mosvona out. So many countries across the southern African region will be looking for a blueprint of what these guys often do right. Although for Zimbabwe, despite their emphasis on development, they've only won it once, this title, under 17 COSAFA Championship. Zambia have a joint 3 with the South Africans. One is going to get one more this year. Or perhaps it will just go to the Angola team. They also look very, very dangerous, playing out in Group A. Shimute. James Sibene. Kalimina now. Oh, that's a really good chop back. Not afraid to take his players on. Now, one thing I liked about watching both these teams on Thursday was the fact that they were skillful. They played with so much heart and youthful exuberance. Here's Shimute, which is what you want to see. You want to see youngsters having fun, most importantly. The stakes are high, but when the stakes are at the highest, that's where the real diamond blossoms. Zimbabwe won it back in 2007. Archaford Kutu scored in that game and would do it again in the final. I think Kutu had scored in the semi and he scored in the final. Archaford Kutu. Lots of players to come through in the years and really perform here. Dan Klate played once upon a time here in the under-17 COSAFA Championship. Lebogang Mokoena, some of the names to go on to have fruitful careers. Robert Mkambi for Zambia, Collins Mbesuma. This is Banda, the new generation, the now, the future. It's an inviting delivery, although not dealt with. And there's a foul there on that far then also. On the Zim man, Kupakwashe Mazokera. Kupakwashe plays for a team in Zimbabwe known by the name of Harare, plays in Harare. There's a Kupakashe Innocent Mazokera. The development in Zimbabwe and in Zambia is actually two-folded. And when you speak to Bakifield Chivenga, he actually tells you that they want to put more of a focus on the school system because that's where the success really lies. Although some other fans of development football will tell you that perhaps the school system, it doesn't work as well because you've got your maths teacher teaching you how to trap a ball also after school, which I don't know if those equations guys know how to trap and pass the way, but some countries have really taken it by the stride. For instance, in Swaziland, Eswatini, they just do their recruitments from schools through various schools, provincial and then national championships. But this is a bit of a hybrid, school and academy. The good thing with academies is that the kids get proper training, nutrition, dietitians, specialists, they start to really feel like quality footballers. Just makes their technical abilities slightly better. That's what the Namibians cry about then, that the school system is not working. So it's a balancing act, if you want to think of it like that. Banda for Felix. Oh, turns Valentine inside out like the page of a book there. Banda. Robert Banda is firing here today. He's definitely feeling up for it. Also plays in one of the top Zambian teams, that Robert Banda plays for Atletico Lusaka FC. Couple of players then in the side play for Atletico Lusaka. So does Abel Nyirongo. Once up. Now Mikel Matule. So far, like I've told you, that return has gave us about 3.25 goals per game, so just under 4. Boots fallen off there. From Felix Piri. He's good. Knows how to work that ball in the midfield, does Piri. And he's from Lusaka Youth then. The only player from Lusaka Youth. The interesting thing then is that there's quite a few Zimbabwean supporters here in Johannesburg to watch the display. The Zambians were also out and about on Thursday with their vuvuzelas, although they sound a little bit more distant today. Not as loud. Perhaps they need to start scoring 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for them to start blowing their vuvuzelas. Here's Randy Ortin. Banda. Sportsmanship between the two players. There the man is. 2 players with hat-tricks so far in this year's edition. It's that man, El Shaddai Sadboma and Gabriel Piri. So the only 2 hat-tricks to come from the tournament came from players from these 2 teams. And one of the players is on the bench, Gabriel Piri. Foul on Orton Piri. So far, 26 goals scored in the tournament. We filter in the 3 we saw here today. 29. Oh, nice ball over the top there for Piri, who does have Banda on his inside twist and turns him like a top. Now he's inside. Valentine, calm, cool and collected like usual. So in terms of appearances, Zambia are the side with the third most appearances here at the under-17 COSAFA qualifiers. They've played here 10 times. Teams with 11 appearances are the South Africans and Malawi. Zimbabwe have only come here 6 times. Listen to this. The last time that Zimbabwe were here was in 2018, where they were knocked out in the group stages. But what I hear is that they were building, working, and many had workouts in Harare. So we're seeing really the hard work of lots of time. Oh, Shimute. So smooth. He's a smooth criminal, is Shimute. He literally is that. He plays so smooth. Just Mapalo Shimute. Goal scorer yet today takes his tally up to 3 now. Two teams in the Southern African region didn't enter then the competition, Madagascar and the Seychelles. Meanwhile, Madagascar have entered a ladies team though. They were in action this morning against Malawi. Goal scorer following Simute would be Khosi Tsidi of Botswana. He's also got 2 goals, and then all the other guys on 1. Zimbabwe a bit slow to their usual selves here. Not playing like the Zimbabwe way here today. It's 25 minutes in and they are here to have a real shot challenging the goalkeeper Rogers Simumba. Now I start to hear those Zambians, vuvuzelas. They're making their presence known now. Want more goals to the Zambian supporters here. Vincent Randy Otin, Mr. RKO. The Zambians were close to equaling their biggest ever win when they played up against Namibia on Thursday. Their biggest win ever here at the Under-17 Championship was back in 1988. Called it under a different banner at that point in time, but be that as it may, they won 9-0 against Mauritius. You see a tussle there. I told you that it's going to be a wrestling match like this. We've got Randy Orton's in the building. It's it feels like worldwide entertainment. It is worldwide entertainment. You tuned into COSAFA here, and some guys in the building to witness the spectacle. There, those vuvuzelas are that I've been wanting. The handful of Zambian supporters representing the entire Chipolopolo. Water break then here in Jozi gives us a chance to get a bit of a cooler, get the youngsters to get some words through. It's been a tight game, you've seen. It's definitely tactical. There's that element too. Yet to see who takes it. Yet to really come into the game. Both sides, yep. Although the early goal for the Zambians will give them some confidence. So the selection process I hear of the Zambians, very strict. It's a rigid process to select the players in Zambia, and it makes sense because they've got lots and lots of talent. They've got a full development league where they choose their players from. That's a rigid selection process. In fact, I was telling you about the Zambian selection process. The Zimbabwean one equally as tough, because in Zimbabwe it's regional, and then every region, like I've said, has got a development league, and then there's another provincial league that they play in. So both teams actually have got a big, extensive, large process to select the players. So I can almost confirm that the players that are playing here, the 22 on the pitch, and then if you filter in the subs too, the 40 players here are the best of the best of the best. For every one player that's here, there could have been easily 100 more back home that could have been playing. Simute. Chance here. Now it's still available here for the Copper Bullets. Can they fire? Kalimina. Now ball to the box. Nyirongo can't get a touch. It's going to be another corner, this time on the right side for Piri. And there he is, Simute. Mr. Smooth Criminal. They've got Zimbabwe on the ropes here. Felix Piri, high delivery, Sianda. Zimba wants to send El Shaddai on his bike. El Shaddai coming out, El Shaddai gets a touch. El Shaddai, it's just hit the side netting. Good work from the goalkeeper, he does that well. He's able to release the balls quickly. There's going to be a card given to the goalkeeper, I think, here of Zambia, Rogers Simumba. The man of Shamwell goes into the book. So it's the first goalkeeper to be carded here at this competition. Looks like it's a free kick just outside the box. Well, yesterday, a youngster by the name of James Lumbe scored one of the first and most beautiful free kicks of this year's qualifiers for Malawi. This is the best opportunity so far for Zim. Valentine, youngster, scored the 5th goal of 5. He's a calm, cool and collected guy. He's just a guy. He's literally just a chill guy. Valentine! Cometh the hour, cometh Valentine Machaka! Mr. Cool Guy! He oozes coolness, and he scores the 2nd free kick of the qualifiers. It's a peach! Creme de la creme! Valentine Machaka is a star. Valentine Macheka knows football. Valentine Macheka was born with the brain in his foot and the heart in his head. Oh, Valentine Macheka. The boy with a love for football, the boy with the biggest footballing heart. Equalizers here for the Zimbabweans. It's 1-1, ladies and gentlemen. It is 1-1 in this derby. And my, oh my, and my, oh my. Now we've got a game on our hands. Now the derby is alive. Jeez. Hope you're enjoying the watch wherever in the world you're watching this. This is Southern Africa's finest footballers. This is COSAFA's Under-17 Championship. Nyirongo. So Zimbabwe have one real big chance. And what do they do with their chance? They convert it into goals. So Valentine gets his second goal and probably the bigger one so far in these qualifiers. I mentioned that this game will probably decide the trajectory of Group B, and now Zimbabwe have a little bit of momentum. What a goal. "33 minutes and we still got plenty of football to play. Now, threaded over the top, Sianda starts to have fun. He had lots of fun in the game against Eswatini. Now the Zimbabweans are trying and starting to really ooze that Zim dollar confidence, that Zim bling bling. So Bona over the top. This, is it onside? You bet it is. Magadzire. Zambia have one 14-year-old in the team, and that's their substitute goalkeeper, William Zulu. Zambia, they have appeared twice at the Cup of Nations. For the first time, it was in 2015. And then once again, last year in 2023 in that edition. Simute tries to follow up there. So 2015 and 2023. When they went to the Cup of Nations, exiting in both times in the group stages. But from what I hear is that they're working on their development and looking to go beyond the group and even qualify for the next World Cup, Zambia. And they've taken some good steps in that regard. Number one, what they've done is that the entire coaching team, it's young, youthful coaching team that's knows how to impart words to young players. It's important to be able to get through to these young ones. That's cut out by the Zimboys. Lines up a shot here. Twala. Zimba. Into the bread baskets. Randy Orton wins the battle against El Shaddai Sadboma. In fact, all the COSAFA teams have never got past the group stages in the CAF Total Energies Cup of Nations. Heavy touch for Mr. Orton. Piri. South Africa too, last year when they played in the competition, exited after the group stages. It was the Senegalese that went on to lift the title and go on to represent us very well at the World Cup. Although the Angolans seem to be cooking something differently this year, because just last year Angola was participating in the Under-18 World Cup that was in Brazil. And Zambia, not Zambia, Angola, listen to this, they got through to the round of 16. So Angola's Under-18 team, actually part of the best 16 teams in the world. They were ranked 13th. So it's not unfamiliar for our COSAFA teams to even grace the world stages. Fortune Piri for Nyarongo, and now it falls for Vincent Mutondo. Vincent Mutondo has been lively in that midfield. Now he really runs that engine room. Mutondo is in a good development. It's important for youngsters to have a good build early in their development, because oftentimes then in development football, what can happen and what often does happen is that after you've played up until about under 19, which is where under 20, where youth football ends, sometimes players are too small. So it's good to try to build the kids sooner and to have them grow quicker and better. Because then it means that they're able to enter into the pro setup more seamlessly and not struggle. I think I've seen some of these games even here. It's a physical, it's a contact sport inherently. So to be able to get the nutrition and diet right of the kids, it really does go a long way. And these two teams are front runners in the Southern African region in that regard. Here's the smooth criminal Shimute. Here comes Zimbabwe through the right winger there, goalkeeper. Does sufficient work to stop out Kupakwashe Mazukera. So it's clear that Zimbabwe's absence from the competition has allowed them to grow, as Zimba still has the shugela. He's not afraid, this goalkeeper, to have fun. But that was that attempt. I must say they've done a good job so far, the Zambians, of keeping quiet Tadiwa Chakuchichi. I haven't seen much of him, and usually he was the player causing all the headaches for Eswatini. Now the smooth criminal Simute. Oh, he's so smooth, this boy. Look at him play. As silky as linen sheets. Now here comes Chakuchichi. He won't get a touch. 1-1 with 5 minutes to go in the first stanza in the Southern African derby. Zimbabwe, Zambia. Two nations, only one can finish on top of this group. Perhaps this may be the group where we get the best second place team. It's 3 groups in this competition. 3 groups each consisting of 4 teams, and then the 3 winners of the groups go through. Then the best second place side of all the 3 groups. Group A is looking like a competitive one too, as we see Al Shaddai Sadboma, goalkeepers come out. Nyarongo makes the run. There's a foul on Nyarongo. Perhaps the referee should have played that on. He was making headway. He was moving forward. Al Shaddai Sadoma stayed down. The hat-trick man. Al Shaddai. Very, very talented kid. This plays for Golden Eagles in Zimbabwe. 2009 born, so he's still also very young, 15 years young is the player. So eligible to play at the very next one again. With the Under-17 World Cup going to happen every single year now and taking place in Qatar from 2025 to 2029, you would assume and imagine that the players will get younger and younger. I think in a couple of years' time in this tournament, we'll see 14 and 13-year-olds play. Because these guys are 16 and they're playing proper coached football, academy football, pro football almost is the level of the game here. It does have one or two youthful mistakes. You see in some of the decision making that they're still very young and growing in their game, but 95% of it is spot on. One one's headed cornerwards. And just going to be a throw in. Oh, and Simute. It's a little bit of a heavy touch there. I think that's good to have our football become younger. Kupakashe Mazokera carded on that other side earlier. Confirmation of that. I think it's good. You see players worldwide like Yamal and Henrik. Young kids that are making headways in the world. Shoniwa, oh, the defender doesn't deal with it well there. He's lucky that Shadbona wasn't watching. Vincent to forward pass, cuts out. Here's Chakuchichi. Finally, he gets onto the ball. Look at this at minute number 44. He has to do what he loves. Here's Chakuchichi. Overruns it. Jeez, he had a good game. Chakuchichi against Eswatini. The man also from Golden Eagles with Sadboma. That probably explains the good relationship and chemistry that the kids have. Even after the game, I went and had a chat to them against Eswatini. Play for the same team. They're good friends, but they haven't quite got going yet. It's a lethal duo up front. Nyarongo gets a nudge there. So our clock has reached 45. Haven't seen yet what the stoppages are. To recycle to Zimba. And Sodbona or someone has stayed down once again here on the far side for Zimbabwe. Zambia are going to play it on. Now Zim get the counter attack. Ref still always play. It's Mazokera that's down and out at the moment for Zim. 3 minutes added on. Now the referee will go check on Mazokera. There's some bit of pain, does the youngster. He's already been carded too. He played lots of game time then in that 5-1 victory, did Mazokera. Got a solid 90 minutes out the last time. Pupakashwe Mazokera. He also plays at Golden Eagles. Or rather at Harare. So here's how it works then in terms of the group and qualifying. If it's first head-to-head, and if the head-to-head ends in a draw, then it's goal difference. So coming into the second half for Zimbabwe and Zambia, they'll know that it's either all or nothing. Zambia will have maybe slightly superior of a goal difference after theirs is +8 and Zimbabwe's is +4. So they've got double the amount of goals if you want to take that into account already and put that into the back of your mind. But the head-to-head, this is the game that will matter. This is the game that will define the group. Will be in action once again on Monday. with Zimbabwe still having Namibia to play, who just won their game. They'll be heading into that one with lots of confidence. And Zambia will play Eswatini. Good lunging tackle that by Chingoka. Now back into the box. Oh, that smelt and looked like danger. Nyirongo, Simute, offside. Referee has a look at his watch, does Samuel Mayele Ngipandulwana. Almost reaching that half-time interval. Felix Nyirongo, Panda. And that should about do it then for the first half's worth of action. Yep, referee puts whistle to mouth, and that is it for the first stanza of the Southern African derby. Boy, it's felt like a derby. It's got everything that you want. The first half definitely didn't disappoint. A free kick goal from Valentine Macheka from Zimbabwe. An early start from Simute once again for Zambia has set the second up quite well. Exactly what we wanted from this tie. It's the balance of it's the group balance. The game with the semi-finals in sight. They will know that the second half is going to be oh so important. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after the halftime break. But after 45 minutes, it's 1 goal for Zambia, 1 Zimbabwe. Chance now, Simute on the other side. Simute scores again for the Zambians. Goodness me gracious, this kid is a star. This boy has got some footballing ability. Almost a photocopy of the goal he scored. Just like that. That's where he really hurts you, Simute. Is he off? Looks like he's played on. He's timed his run just well. Banda Simute. Simute with 3 now. This is Banda. Banda, bend it, Banda, bend it like Banda. Valentine Macheka knows football. Valentine Macheka was born with the brain in his foot and the heart in his head. Oh, he's not afraid, this goalkeeper, to have fun. But that was that attempt. Welcome back to the u17 Stadium. Zambia chose to go to the substitute bench and bring on the man that had a hat-trick against Namibia. Gabriel Piri comes on. He's a super sub, that kid. He knows how to come on and score. Let's see if he's got the wits about him today. So comes on Joseph Zulu in jersey number 18. Joseph Zulu got 11 minutes of action against Namibia. This time he'll get a full half to show his exploits. Look like they've taken off Joseph Banda, and they've also taken off Simute. So no, Simute is still on rather. So it's Banda off, Simute still on. I'll let you know who else the Zambians have taken off, but there's definitely an intention now to go on and do something brilliant. Oh, free kick here early on in the second half in a dangerous position. See it again, pass through, and then that moment there, the studs up from Kalimani, the captain, Kalimina rather, the captain of Zambia. So, some in the crowd are saying, Valentine Macheka, do it again. Can he do it again? That would be phenomenal if he's able to, from a direct set piece again, score. There's two of them over the ball now. Jersey 19 is also there, belonging to Cleopas Chiwobo. But there's no question about who's taking this now from a Zimbabwe perspective. It's going to be this man. I'm sure everyone in Harare and Bulawayo are thinking what the few Zimbabwe supporters here are thinking. Valentine Macheka. Macheka! This time he's stopped. He doesn't have the... It just dips before you would have anticipated, does it, for Valentine Macheka. Look at it again there. So there were some remarks on our COSAFA and CAF TV on YouTube saying the young Chipolopolo not taking it as seriously as they could this game. But I promise you, there's an intention that these guys are here to win. It's just been that tight of a game. And then in terms of the pitch conditions, I saw some remarks about that. It's a pitch that's used quite frequently, but it's in good condition. I promise the picture that you see at home doesn't do justice to how it looks here in person. There's green patches here and there, some patches that are drier than others, but it's a pitch that can hold and is well maintained. And the other game taking place between South Africa and the Comoros at half-time, last time I checked, South Africa were winning by 1-0, to keep you updated on some of the other results. So the most successful teams, when we start to look at the Cup of Nations that these teams are trying to qualify for, it's your Western teams, it's your Northern teams. And they're also busy with their qualification processes at the moment. There's a thread through for Nyerongo. Nyerongo still on his feet. Nyerongo just doesn't hit the target there from that chip-like shot. I was still telling you about some of the teams most successful wise on the continent at this level of the game. You've got Cameroon, Zambia, Ghana, Mali, Nigeria. Each of them have 2 titles each at the Cup of Nations. More recently, the Senegalese were the winners. No, good work there to get past Piri. Still looking for our first Cup of Nations in COSAFA. But it's been going on for some time, this youth continental tournaments. Dates back till 1994, 1995 was when the first under-17 Cup of Nations held. So it wasn't, actually dates way long ago, the history of youth development international football. But Zambia have done well here. They've threaded through. Gift Piri! You want something? You want a corner? Does he get it? Referee says yes. Gift Piri's come with fire. He's a super sub, the kid. There it falls for Piri. Good work by the duo of replacements, Joseph Zulu and Piri. Now the young Chilopolo fighting again, and that near post header not threatening at the slightest. But it dates back long, the international football space for youth. It was in 1985 when FIFA created a World Cup tournament for players under 17 years, and it wasn't actually called the under 17 World Cup initially. Firstly, what it was called was the FIFA Under 17 Championship. And then in 1995, that's when CAF created a home and away fixtures for the teams to qualify. Mike Mutle. So since then, there's been regular participants, African participants out in those tournaments. World Cup also yet to be won by the African team. But it was initially called the Under-17 Championship, and then it was only actually in 2015 where it was called the Cup of Nations for the first time. Throw in here for Zimbabwe. Long throw and a foul throw, which you don't see all too often in the game. He's naughty for that. Is Cleopas Chiwowo. Shimote to Felix. Definitely you can see there's a change in tension by the Copper Bullets in the second half. They're a little bit more lively and finding each other a lot better. Kalimina, the captain, once on the left. Kif Piri goes inward on the right. Piri. Hat-trick scorer. It only took him about, when he came on, Kif Piri, against Namibia on the first day, it didn't take him too long to get going and start firing. In fact, he only played for 25 minutes. Listen to that. Kifpiri was only on for 25 minutes against Namibia and scored 3 goals. Cut out that by Valentine Macheka. Oscar might just fall here to Chakuchichi. It's going to be a first yellow card from a Zambian perspective. He's the player that subsequently stayed down. I'm not sure why, because he's the one to make the foul. The referee waits for him. When I see a 1-1 between Zambia and Zimbabwe, I immediately draw back and remember the campaign back in 2007 when Zimbabwe won their first title. In the midst of their qualification through the ranks and through the groups, they played 1-1 against Zambia, then beat them on penalties. I think that must have been in the semi-final 2007. It's a long time ago. 17 years now. As the captain goes into the book, Jonathan Kalimina. Yeah, a long time ago now since these sides met in competitive form like this. Like I said, a couple of years where Zimbabwe didn't put their names in the hats for the COSAFA qualifiers, but they're happy that they're back, and they're definitely back with some intention. It'd be nice to see both these teams in the semi-final. They're just that good. Valentine once again. This time he overcooks it over the bar. Valentine Macheka. Here's the smooth criminal, Shimote. Shimote comes in the bar. Shimote! What a goal from Zambia. Does it count? No, it's offside. It won't count. But who was off? Was it Shimote when he received it? Or was it Nyerongo? I think it was Shimote, but why wasn't the whistle blown earlier? They've let him carry on and go. But he's showing the smooth nature that he's got. Now Chakuchichi. Macheka leaves the man on the floor. Oof, he's gone down in dramatic fashion. There has El Shaddai Sadboma. I think ball to face. We saw an injury of that nature. Everett Bell of Namibia not able to continue after he suffered a knock just like that. I hope that El Shaddai Sadboma is okay, but everyone in Lusaka will be feeling just like that from a Zambian perspective, trying to spur their fans forward, their players forward. It's a cooler box affair out here in Johannesburg. Hot day, sun hat is the theme. As we see some administrators from South Africa, that's a gentleman called Mondli Dube, administers some of the local football association football. Some pretty faces too. Two by two. So back to the play then. 10 minutes into the second half, and well, the game is definitely up and running. 2 goals in the game, 2 Southern African giants. It's a derby, this. Only one of the teams in the derby can progress. Piri. Piri again. Give Piri. For Zimbabwe, they spent some time, like I said, without coming to these championships. And even in that midst, they were formerly coached by Tafatsa Mashiri before the coach now took over. Bakifield Chavenga. but they were back here in 2020. Will try to participate after they were declared ineligible in 2020. They prepped a team and all, but we know that in the COSAFA qualifiers, there's technology that ensures that all the players are eligible to play. It's actually a very good system that the players undergone on Tuesday. Most of the teams, Tuesday, Wednesday, they went through the magnetic resonance imaging. That's what it's called, MRI. And what it does is it checks the growth of the bones of the boys. So they also almost taken through a scanner to see where and how the development has taken place and if that player is eligible to play. We've got Dr. Tulani Ngwenya, the CAF Medical Commission and Medical Officer, to thank for that system. It wasn't just Zimbabwe that were excluded in 2020. So were Botswana, so were the Comoros, so was Eswatini. But it doesn't entail any inverted commas age cheating of that nature. It's just ineligibility, as COSAFA has put it. You could well be of age but still be ineligible. But a proper system. I have to tell you more about it. It's actually interesting. With the ladies, they don't use it because the ladies go through menstrual cycles, and so their bodies develop and grow slightly differently. So the technology in sport is brilliant. Brought down is Shimute in a dangerous position now. That's right on the chalk of the box. Just emphasizing that MRI, because I saw lots of our viewers asking questions via how it works. That's a proper system. Went to check some of it out on Tuesday when it was done. So let's see. This could be dangerous once again. We've seen 2 free kicks already. The box to the far stick. Is there any willing takers? No is the answer. Felix Piri keeps it alive for the Zambians. Back on the pitch is Mazokera for Zimbabwe. Mike Matule. It's an inviting ball for Piri to try and work. So Zimbabwe, perhaps they've been left in the first half. They had such a good latter stages of the first half after they had scored. But now it seems that momentum has died down a little bit. It's a game of momentum, though. It's a game of many subplots and twists and turns. And this subplot has written Zambia all over it. Smooth criminal Shimute. This is Chihuahua. Sends Chakuchichi, who slips. Yeah, they've marked Chakuchichi. He's been nowhere today. Tadiwa. Foul on the back of the Zimbabwean attacker there, El Shaddai Sadbona. I haven't seen the Zimbabweans prepare any changes, although it does look like one man is warming up at the moment for Zim. The cheering becomes a tad bit louder from a Zambian perspective. A win almost guarantees them that they'll go through to the semi-finals, and if they do get to a semi-final, for you watching at home, they'll play the winner of Group C, where there's South Africa, Mauritius, the Comoros, and Botswana. So we may have a repeat of the 2020 final, but we may have it in a semi. The winner of Group A, where there's Mozambique, Malawi, Angola, and Lesotho, will play the second place team, as Chimute is fouled by Cleopas Chiwawa. Set piece, and it's Kalimina on it, the captain for Zambia of CAF u17. Man marking for Zim in the box. Kalimina! It's the bar. Oh, the audacity to have it from there. In fact, I say audacity. It's clever football, because Sianda Zimba wasn't expecting him to go for goal. His body language didn't look like he was going for goal either. He's lost a boot in the process. Oh no, he's taking his boot off. He's going to change the pair of boots. Perhaps a tad bit small, and that's a beautiful picture. Boys helping one another. Put the ball goalkeeper's boots on. Now that's how it works in the streets of Bulawayo. You don't have boots, you borrow from another. When we share them around like that, he's just going to take off his gloves. No, he wants to make them a tad bit tighter. But hope you've enjoyed the watch anywhere in the world. These guys are enjoying the display. Boys from Soweto here to watch a Southern African derby. I like it when they bring smaller development teams to watch older guys play, because it means you can take lessons and see the standard of football across the continent. And they haven't stopped partying one bit. Someone needs to fly me to Lusaka. I need to party like that too. Someone needs to fly me to Lusaka. There were a couple of tournaments held in Zambia of this nature. I have to think back now and remember when exactly the tournament went into the Zambians. In fact, I think it's the one place that COSAFA hasn't been, Zambia. Perhaps they should look at that as a destination, Lusaka, because it's been to Namibia, it's been to Malawi, it's been to South Africa 3 times, it's been to the Mauritius twice. Not Zambia though, which is interesting. Zambia trying to open up the Zim boys. Now this could be the moment. Oh! Touch there on the player. He's gone down in the box. Chakuchichi chases it down for Zimbabwe. It's dealt with well by Kalimina, the captain. So what is it going to take? These games, you can never really write them off or rule them out. And Namibia scored in the final moments of the game up against Eswatini. Yesterday, Mozambique also broke Lesotho hearts in 90 minutes. So whose hearts are going home broken today? And Zimbabwe and their coach are preparing a personnel change. Jersey number 13, Alfred Matonisi, came on for 23 minutes. On Thursday, he's going to get around about the same amount of game time here today. And it looks like he's going to replace the man that scored a hat-trick, El Shaddai Sadboma. Or is it? I wonder who they're taking off. El Shaddai Sadboma looks like he's just going to go take instructions from the bench. Water break, so inadvertent one while the Zambians deal with the knock on the other side. It's going to be Mazokera. He's misfired today as Mazokera. It was dangerous against Eswatini. It's been a tougher, more tactical, more physical game for Mazokera, and so Matonisi to come on and potentially impact. But these are the favorites. These are the heavyweights, the title defenders. It's those type of games where you've got the champions versus the contenders. Title versus contenders. I said that this feels a bit like a WWE fight. It really is that. You've got one with the championship. You've got one that wants to dethrone the other. And at four corners of the pitch. Looks like he'll be able to continue. Ngonzadashe Chingoka. Chingoka plays in Zimbabwe for a team called Golden Eagles. There's 3 players from Golden Eagles Academy in the Zim side. It's also nice to see diversity. You don't want especially a youth development team dominated by one certain club. So I'm happy to see that, in fact, for all the countries that are participating here, they've diversified their selection and have tried to choose players from most parts of the country. I just told you in that first half about how extensive and long the selection process is. But here comes Alfred Matonsi then, the man of Mapompa Academy. Mpompa Academy. Now he's the only one then that plays for that team. Fascinating names. I see my colleague here to the side chuckling. 20 minutes. Chakuchichi plays off. One more. Too much. So the idea for these boys after this under-17 odyssey, after this journey, is to promote them to the under-20 national teams, is to sort of keep a similar structure going up in the youth ranks. Of course, there's so many good boys in the respective countries. There's lots of talents that's been missed. So those will also still get a chance. But once you've played once for the national side, you sort of have your name spoken and said already in rooms where it needs to be said. So these guys wanna do that as the referee goes over to have a talking to Cleopas Chiwowo and Mapalo Simute. One back this by Felix. Sends deep and long. Cleopas deals with it. Piri again. Nyarongo winds, looks for space. Now he's got 1 second to shoot and he just can't fire in time. Can Alfred Abel Nyarongo? Now they haven't been able to find him today, have they? Tadiwa Chakuchichi. But in football, you only need one moment. You don't need to be found 10 times. You only need to be found once. And that once can be worth 100 times. Cleopas Chiwowo is the player that's gone down now from Zimbabwe. Out of your picture. Doesn't need the stretcher at least. Clear past Chihuahua. He plays at Jemise Academy Gweru. He receives a yellow card. I wonder what was that. I'll have to find out at the floor as to why exactly he was carded, Chihuahua. Another one is also down. Lots of players cramping now then for Zimbabwe. This time it's Gainmore Magadzire. When you're playing in a tournament structure and playing back-to-back games like this, the legs can start to tire. And for Gainmore, it's actually his first game here at this year's Under-17 Championships. He didn't play any minutes against Eswatini. He played no parts, and it's, you see, it's that hammy for the youngster. Let me tell you an interesting point then about Gainmore Magadzire. He's one of the youngest players here at the COSAFA Under-17 Championships. He, in fact, will celebrate his birthday on the 22nd of December. He's still only, he's a 2010. So if he celebrates his birthday in December, it means he's only 13 years old, which is commendable. That's insane to have a 13-year-old there. So that makes sense as to why the legs maybe start to hurt. When you're at that age, you're not playing 90 minutes, you're playing at the maximum 70. How it works in development football, if you're anything younger than 15, you're playing about 70 minutes. If you're between the ages 11 and 12, you're playing only 60 minutes. So for Gainmore Magadzire, makes sense that the legs start to feel that this is, so these are big boys. It's the big boys game. The time running out for these Southern African Giants with 15 minutes to go here. Piri wants to play one more. It's cut out by Cleopas. Zimbabwe have not had an attack, a shot on target in the second half. It's all been Zambia. It's all been the copper bullet. But the copper has lacked the bullet. It's lacked the firepower. Good ball now. Shimote through to Nyerongo. What? He's off anyway. It wouldn't have counted. He's offside anyway. It wouldn't have counted. So the Zimbabwean defenders applaud the offside trap working. And they've executed it well countless times now, that offside trap, have the Zim defense. And perhaps I'm starting to think that this is the strategy then from Zimbabwe. Get the point. A point is better than a loss, because I've mentioned how it works. It's not goal difference, it's first head-to-head. So you take the points here against Zambia and then perhaps go and try to run rampant against Namibia, score as many goals as possible. That would be the safe bet. Playing it safe and not gambling with it. But you need to gamble. You need to play. You need to put your body on the line. Shimodet takes a touch. Referee wants to bring it back to where the foul occurred on the opposite man, Cleopas Chihuahua. Chihuahua plays it downfield to Chakuchika. I've been impressed with the standard of development football across the continent. It's good to see that there's development happening all over Africa. Now to Zulu. It really is a good sight to see this from a football development perspective. I think we'll really start to see the fruits of tournaments like this in a couple of years to come, when our Africans really go over to compete in World Cups. In fact, if you wanna draw correlations and connections, Morocco's 4th place finish at the recent FIFA World Cup is because of tournaments like this, starting to build them early. At a competitive level like this, frequently. Oh! What a finish! What a pass! Abel Nyirongo scores again, and Zambia lead against Zimbabwe. To be honest, it's been coming. And Abel Nyirongo thanks the Zambian heavens and the gods. For me, it's the smooth criminal once again. It starts with Mapalo Shimute. He plays the ball across the pitch. And then for one moment, Zimbabwe goes sleeping and Zambia punish them. Shimute, one touch. Goalkeeper's way out of his goal line. They're expecting the offside again. That's what they're basing their game on. Is he offside? He's onside. He's on like a scone. He's on like a scone. 2-1 Zambia. Zimbabwe with the work to do now. Now that's what I was saying about the gamble. You sit and you try to milk the draw. Something like that can happen. Now they need to play again. Cole Tamba to come on from Simbabora. Played 44 minutes against Eswatini. Now Zimbabwe suddenly are woken up by that goal. Want to get the foul on the edge of that area was Sodomba. Zambia playing with confidence. And at Derby, it takes moments like that. Just one lapse of concentration can cost you the bragging rights and also the place in winning the group, because should Zambia win here, they'll make it 6 out of 6 wins. Piri. Kalimina skips for Nyirongo. It's the bar. It's the bar there, does Abel Nyirongo. Suddenly it looks like the copper bullets have been brought to life now. It's a Lusaka party in Johannesburg. Cross the face of goal, that one's gone. So games-wise to come then for these sides. Zambia have Eswatini up next, and if you think of the record of Eswatini so far, they haven't won anything. So that perhaps tells you that Zambia will have a slightly less pressure-filled game on Monday. That's when they'll be back. So how it works, you play, you have a game, a day's rest. Play, day's rest. Scooped to the far post. No green shirts there for Zimbabwe. Here comes Zambia once again. That's brilliant feet. Oh, and he's still going. He left Chingoka sitting down, and then Chingoka's fouled. So games-wise, we return with action here at the UJ Stadium once again tomorrow in Pimville, where Malawi will play Lesotho in the final Group A games. That group wrapping up tomorrow, and then it's going to be a really good game between Angola and Mozambique at the A.W. Muller Stadium. Both 3 o'clock kickoffs tomorrow. Abel Nyirongo. Jonathan Kalimina. Cut out by Cleopas Chihuahua for a corner for Zambia. It's clear now where the momentum lies. It's clear who fancies themselves more now for the tie. Mozambique have 6 points. Angola have 4. I mentioned that because there's also the best second place incentive. Doesn't look like it's going to come from Group C. That group is dominated by South Africa at the moment. So it's going to, Zimbabwe are going to kind of need to hope and see what happens that side. Whoa! That buries the tie. Zambia have done it once again. Abel Nyirongo with the brace. He's a lethal striker. He was born to strike a ball. He was born to play football. And he is living his dream. He is living the dream of the 1,000 other boys that weren't able to be selected from Lusaka. He's living the dream of the boy in the villages in Zambia. He's living the COSAFA dream. Look at that. That's Zimbabwe buried rather. The final nail in the coffin, surely now. It's a party, it's a festival of Zambian football. An extravaganza of Zambian football. Foul by jersey 5, or 5 on jersey 5. So in terms of games to come then, Zimbabwe, they will play against Eswatini. And then, like I said, hope and pray that other things go well. For the Zambians, they're on course for their title defense. And for number 4. Oh, good triangular football. That's now they are playing the Chipolopolo way. This is the Zambian way, and now the cutback for Kif Piri. Oh, now they're enjoying their football. Now they are playing the way that the Zambians were crying for. Now they're playing the sugar and spice and everything nice football. Nyirongo is now on a hat-trick. 3 goals for him in the competition. Nyirongo has won that one again. He could make it 3. Abel Nyirongo! Zimbabwe into the Harare dust. Zambia aiming for the Lusaka skies. 4-1 in Johannesburg. They're posing for the picture. They're all thanking the gods. That's where it's come. It's come from their ancestry. And look at it. Oh, the kid is good. Living the dream of the kids from Ndola, Lusaka, Kitwe, Livingstone, Relishit, Zambia, Relishit, Mazabuko, Solwezi, from Kafu to Choma, Sosiavonga to Sasheke. The Zambia, the entire country of Zambia is partying. Oh, they've got the job done in the derby, and they've got it done in style. In Chipolopolo style. They're going to make the changes anyway, will the Zimbabweans. Jersey 14. Awakue Talibe to come on in that jersey number 14. So will jersey number 2, Denzel Chimbo Chakaza of Mufakose High. So, it seems all but settled then here in Johannesburg, ladies and gents. I don't see any miracle happening. Certainly the only miracle that's occurred is the Zambian one. So they march on. They will, looks like they will go on to mount a pretty good defense of their title, the heavyweights here today. I'll see how much added time is being prepared. I've mentioned their games to you already. Zambia, Eswatini on Monday, if you're watching from a Zambian perspective. 5 minutes added. Jeez. The Zimbabweans would have wished that you blow the whistle now and they go back and recover. Zambia preparing 3 changes. Imagine that. Free kick. The back post. Zimba deals with it. So for Zimbabwe, it's really been a lack of intention. Some lackluster football in the second half. Saw them really be second best. And so they will finish. They won't worry too much about the goal difference. For them now, the mandates will be Namibia on Monday. Lots and lots and lots of changes. So jersey number 7 comes on from Zambia. Or jersey number 8 rather. Manopande. Number 2 also comes on. Kelvin Simukoko. And number 6, Nkomaji Chimwemwe. Chimwemwe plays for a team called Mbowe United. So they'll get 4 or so minutes of time to play further with Zimbabwe. So playing with some passion are the Zimbabweans, which is what you want to see then from development football. You need to play the game entirely, play it right up until it's done. That's the way to play football, the one and only way. So one of the biggest successes for Zambia up against Zimbabwe in recent times. Like I said, some haven't played here since about 2018. So this will really be a feather in the hat of the Zambians as they go back to their hotel today back in Johannesburg. We'll have a rest day tomorrow. I hear they've been taking half the day to rest, half the day to train. Then there's some technical sessions where they work on further drills. But really, everything that they do in the Zambian camp at the moment is to increase chemistry, is to increase the camaraderie between the players. One thing that's always found them in good stead, Zambia, is that they prep their teams way in advance for competitions like this. So what we're seeing really here is more than 12 months of work that's gone in. Whereby some teams that are playing in this championship this week have only prepped for about 2 months, maybe sometimes even 2 weeks. So good preparation always finds you in good stead, as we see Piri dart inwards again. So back to the drawing board for Zimbabwe, but they are a team that understood the type of game that they'd face here today, and that it wouldn't be easy. And so in development football, there's always lessons to take even after you've lost. So these Zimbabweans will take what they could from today. Oh! Goodness! Goodness! Stunning. Absolutely stunning to wrap up the victory for Zambia. Chimwemwe, he hasn't been on the pitch for 2 minutes. Chimwemwe hasn't been on the sheets for 2 minutes. And he produces a worldie like that. Yeah, they've played with style and flair and precision and Zambian flavor. Yo, what a scoreline. 5 Zambia, 1 Zimbabwe. They are proving once again to be title favorites. That is the game into the books. History made once again by Zambia against their local rivals, Zimbabwe. It felt like a derby in the first half, but in the second, it was just Zambia in the fight. Hat-trick by that man in picture, Abel Nyirongo. He goes over to the referee to collect his match ball. Abel Nyirongo with a brilliant 3 goals. Other goals coming through from Mapalo Simute. And then an absolute worldie right towards the end by Chimwemwe, who hadn't been on the pitch for barely 2 minutes. For Zimbabwe, it's time to pick themselves up, get better, improve. And I'm sure we will see them better and ready on Monday. So that's day 4 of the Under-17 COSAFA Championships done and dusted. And, well, it ends here at the UJ Soweto Stadium. 5 Zambia, 1 Zimbabwe. That's a goodbye from myself, Tandom Chiako, and the rest of the world-class broadcasters I've been working with today. And until tomorrow, goodbye. name Orton, I've called him Randy. Here's Banda. Chance now, Simute on that other side. Simute scores again for the Zambians. Goodness me gracious, this kid is a star. This boy has got some footballing ability. Almost a photocopy of the goal he scored. Just like that. That's where he really hurts you, Simute. Is he off? Looks like he's played on. He's timed his run just well. Banda, Simute with 3. Simute with 3 now. This is Banda. Banda, bend it. Banda, bend it like Banda. Valentine Macheka knows football. Valentine Macheka was born with the brain in his foot and the heart in his head. Oh, he's not afraid, this goalkeeper, to have fun. But that was that attempt. Macheka. Look at it again there. At a competitive level like this, frequently. Oh, what a finish! What a pass! Abel Nyirongo scores again, and Zambia lead against Zimbabwe. To be honest, it's been coming. And Abel Nyirongo thanks the Zambian heavens and the gods. For me, it's the smooth criminal once again. It starts with Mapalo Shimute. He plays the ball across the pitch. And then for one moment, and Zambia punish them. Shimute, one touch. Goalkeeper's way out of his goal line. They're expecting the offside again. That's what they're basing their game on. Is he offside? He's on hope and see what happens that side. Whoa! That buries the tie. Zambia have done it once again. Abel Nyirongo with the brace. He's a lethal striker. He was born to strike a ball. He was born to play football. And he is living his dream. He is living the dream of the 1,000 other boys that weren't able to be selected from Lusaka. He's living the dream of the boy in the villages in Zambia, living the COSAFA dream. Look at that. And that's Zimbabwe buried rather. The final nail in the coffin, surely. Nyirongo has won that one again. He could make it 3. Abel Nyirongo! Zimbabwe into the Harare dust. Zambia aiming for the Lusaka skies. 4-1 in Johannesburg. They're posing for the picture. They're all thanking the gods. That's where it's come. And look at it. Oh, the kid is good. What they could from today. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Stunning. Absolutely stunning to wrap up the victory for Zambia. Chimwemwe, he hasn't been on the pitch for 2 minutes. Chimwemwe hasn't been on the sheets for 2 minutes. And he produces a worldie like that.